It all began with one man, Kintu Kida, a proud father, a leader, a husband. He only wanted peace for his family, but one tragic mistake unleashed a curse that would haunt his descendants for centuries. This is not just one man's story. No, it's the story of Uganda itself. A story of love, tradition, guilt, and survival. Welcome to Kintu, Jennifer Nasubuga's Makumbi's powerful masterpiece that bridges the ancient and the modern, showing how the past never truly dies. Our story begins in 18th century Buganda, a kingdom alive with power, culture, and spiritual tradition. At the center of it all stands Kintu Kida, the respected Pokino, meaning governor of Budu province. He is a man of discipline, order, and deep faith in the old ways. His life seems perfect. He has land, wives, children, and the favor of his king. But destiny often hides in small mistakes. One day, Kintu sets out on a long journey to pay homage to the Kabaka, the king. Alongside him is Kalema, his adopted son. The road is long, the sun merciless, and suspicion grows into Kintu's heart. He begins to doubt the boy's loyalty. Poisoned by whispers and pride, in a moment of fear and misunderstanding, tragedy strikes. Kintu, driven by anger and rumor, beats Kalema and the boy dies. When Kintu later learns the truth that Kalema was innocent, grief and guilt consume him. But the boy's father, filled with rage, calls upon ancestral spirits and places a curse on Kintu's entire bloodline. A curse that would travel through centuries, leaving every generation haunted by misfortune, madness, and death. From that day, the family of Kintu Kida is never the same. The curse becomes an invisible shadow that follows his descendants through time, whispering in their ears, tearing apart families and repeating the same pattern of pain, loss, and misunderstanding. Years turn into decades, and decades into centuries. Uganda changes, kingdoms fall, new nations rise, and people move from traditional life to the modern world. But the curse, stubborn and unseen, refuses to die. Every new generation tries to break free, to heal what the ancestor broke. But how do you fight something buried so deep in your blood? The story leaps to modern day Uganda. Here we meet several descendants of Kintu, each living their own struggle, each unknowingly carrying a piece of his guilt. There is Subi, a young woman haunted by voices. There is Kanani, a preacher trying to save his family from misfortune through faith. Isaac Newton Kintu, who carries the same pride and stubbornness as his ancestor, and others, all bound by a thread of tragedy and spirit. Their stories weave together like tapestry, showing us that even in modern life, the past breathes beneath the surface. They battle mental illness, secrets, betrayals, and the heavy expectation of family and tradition. And in every story, echoes of Kintu's mistake appear again and again, as if history refuses to forget. Through these generations, Makumbi paints a moving portrait of Uganda itself, a nation carrying the weight of history, colonialism, and change, yet still full of hope, resilience, and love. In the end, Kintu descendants begins to understand that to heal the present, they must face the past. They return to their roots, to their ancestors, to the old spiritual ways that once connected life and death, guilt and forgiveness. It is through remembering, not forgetting, that they find peace, through acknowledging the pain, not hiding it. And in that journey, Kintu becomes more than just one family story. It becomes a mirror for all of us, a reminder that what we bury in silence often shapes who we become. Jennifer Makumbi's Kintu is more than a novel, just a novel. It is a bridge between Africa's past and present, between Africa's myth and reality, between the living and the dead. It shows us that history is not just in books and museums, it lives inside us, in our families, in our fears, and in our dreams. Through beautiful storytelling and unforgettable characters, Makumbi teaches us that to move forward, we must understand where we came from. If you haven't read Kintu, you should. Step into this world of kings, ancestors, generation tied together by love and curse. Read it for the history, for the heartbreak, for the healing, and then share your thoughts. What do you think about Kintu's curse? Do we carry the weight of our ancestors' action? Let's talk about it, because every family, in some way, has its own Kintu's story. Thank you and bye bye for now.